Nycto, textual, starry night. Mbaruk, Christ, it's hard to unwrite these bars. You delight in carving through the mica's art into the bark of a darkly looming pine. These art school gripes. Are you contrite? The part of you darker than Plutarch was right. It's not too dark at night, it's not a movie. Art is life infinite, the truth bizarre as ice cubes. Sparkly light in this absolute vodka in his Sprite. Mbaruk writing as cars through the night, the stars strewn in the sky. All for you, my guy, Mbaruk, Christ guarding you like an Arthurian knight in word garbled moonlight. Nocturnal man serving his role in all the strands, murmurous notes, watery, random words, uncontrolled, unconscious, the rapper nocturnal, this humble speaker Mbaruk, jumbling the dream to call you the more powerful lord, a Hercules, the 24-hour store clerk asleep, reading the news of your whims, asleep at the wheel of fortune, wishing the passenger well, awash as Anna Plurabelle. In all the strands, murmurous notes, our common passage nocturnal, an early collector of pervertedly correct verse, the Brother Clerk, a Negro specter, in other words, Nycto textual. Nycto textual. Nycto textual. The clerk on his night shift, an absurdly drawn Ivan Ilyich, so worthy of his stylishness in word thought, a scientist of black endlessness, asleep at the cash register, reading. Mbaruk hands the protagonist cash for a bag of chips. He hands me the change and I quip in black language of the fact of our chains, the whip the masters flay us with, the political echo of our Nycto textual skin tone, especially true to how we write beneath the looming black night. The human as white, please. We're midnight, mean we, the moonlight hitting the sea. It's not we, the water, neither. We were the solemn evening itself. Nycto textual. Nycto textual. Yo. As an ocean's frothy white spume, so awash in the light of the moon, knowing the shop divine forsooth, the poets shopping for night food, buying coffee and condoms, as the psychotic philosopher walking in armed with a sharpness, the soft-hearted word artisans he stabbed with the point of his pen, the path whereby boys become men, the police siren nearing them, the Philistine in rhyming earrings, in reverie moving, as the police shoot at him as if in a matrix, weightless, the bullets he waves away in space as if they couldn't break his spirit. He lay stained in his own blood, his ghost exiting where he breathed, the poets condemning their police. So Nycto textual, the sea, mists collecting over the beach. Nycto textual, Nycto textual, Nycto textual, Nycto textual. Let's all get Nycto textual.
Far from
ago, the willows wept in the Nycto text amid the cold, wet misanthrope meta-darkness. This illegible Mbaruk script, the Nycto bard within an alligator's soul, the wrath he displayed in his poems, the black angel. This Saturday, frozen in wraps, Beethoven, the sad, strange composer, had to play slower to navigate the poetry, translating his soul in its free jazz rainbow into speech the man maybe nobody needs, whether hanging by a rope from the tree, castrated, or both, or neither. They masturbate openly in an aeroplane over the sea, the Nycto textual MILF motel, intersectional with no males, his Mercury River overrated. The words we swim in weren't creative, he's Drake at his best. His dreams stay in his head, his dreams stay on your mind like great sex. You're not on his mind, he's thinking about ancient texts, as Hegel to the west, so faithful to Penelope, so the waves as you enter the sea, heliocentric demons as fairies flitting about, the man upholding his heliotext, the little moth, the Nycto cop flitting aloft, really demonic, as the dreaming sea falls in love, and evil we all restructure, the pottery crumbling. It's not really something we ought to be discussing. The job he's stuck within, the shop these truckers visit, coffee cups and literature, the Nycto bird, an owl aloft, downy soft in unwritten murk, the Nycto bird, an owl aloft, downy soft in unwritten murk, the Nycto bird. Macduff in the Nycto text, untimely ripped from his rest amniotic, he kills Macbeth, so the pills he ingests to his head, the neuronal nevermore raving through his forms to protect illegal alien New Yorkers, secretly Canadian, in the florally decorated room. These moths demonic, symbolic of heliography's photography in the lunacy of calm oceanography. This water still talking to me, vodka-licious, the shots we freeze, fallen in cinematography. The Nycto text, volubly, these infinite volumes encyclopedic of the logic he writes for his people, nocturnal night-adoring people. These stern lights in the evening vault as Cleopatra to Egyptologists. Our own meaningless knowledge, the freest thought oft beheaded. It's not yet over. Nycto textual.
Happy birthday, PlayStation. Have it thrown away during waystation. That 52-foot concealed paraffin holder. Wax for the nectar collection holder. On way to the darkest of valleys, back against the worst situations. 18 wheels in heavy traffic, nighttime top patients. Deliveries to a bodega somewhere. That's punching like college music. Someone please discover the blueprint. Just be sure to include moi, so doofus. Plus Mbaruk, the store never closes. Open to sell the first yawning mask, or the best leafy stem low percent can have. So dark, no benzene, shrooms cause the benzene. Never went that far. Cannabis and beatbox art. Does this bodega have the gay? I know Mary is legal, but addiction's enslaving.
You were my heaven, the universe, one night unending. Beautiful, though quite enveloped in the luna-solar dialectic, dark and thrown into Bellevue just because, so Nycto textual, involved in the wind and wet murk. At bottom, the Nyctovert, whether Petrarchan or Shakespearean informed Star Wars, or maybe a real war. Mbaruk WET-JET SEYMOUR, police are at the door. His artistry, the Nycto porno text, swarmingly until the store closes. These ill-born omens.
Gotta have the potpourri and poisonous chips. Don't forget the clip bars and GIF. Such a night wasted with pockets that thin. Escape rooms and bodegas. Standing in line behind you, the only one manning the task at 2 a.m. The daylight's been gone for too many hours. There's no remote control to fast forward the shift. When will it ever end? When will it ever end? 7 times to the computer first, as soon as the next person walks in.
Yes.
You know what? I don't think I care for your rationale.
Well, it's going to have to do, being that it's my car up for a request. Can I help you?
A pack of cigarettes.
So what's your point?
My point is, you're a clerk, paid to do a job. You can't just do anything you want while you're working.
Space alien.
Yo, it's 2:01 a.m.
Space alien.
Andrew Mbaruk. Tonight is unreasoned darkness to those whiter than Beefheart, with his black-faced voice so soulful that nowadays rose unfolding as the proud taste of Coca-Cola. The flowering gray smoky blows these homes in rows, or owl surveys for power's sake his scope. These bullets, the ghostly image of Pound in his cage or bound with tape. Her poetry collected, so connected. These sound waves, resoundingly vague. His hocus pocus, thrown over this ocean, drowned in by many. His mouth illuminating a photologos. The random moon and starlight. That's Andrew Mbaruk on the mic. An MC nocturnal, Nycto textual to the maximum, scripted as Othello, his schizophrenia, Nycto textual, indexical, these ambiguities. Andrew speaks, and the value beneath is gravity deep. These black murmurous seas, the waves crashing against the beach, will remain. His faith in your free will stained, the grape juice squeezedly drained. The green fruit spraying its juice on your autonomy. Sorry, it's no free will, we're all zombies, automata, caught in God's causal plot, holocaustic. These motley blobs in the lava lamp, shift, control, alter, enter the souls, falling embers, his poem all unfettered here. The photon lunar going on to illuminate a little of her hair through underwear. Yo, getting it on. You could say these masculine thoughts are Nycto textual. Yo, now it's back behind the counter. Black Lives Matter, selling snacks here as ants climbing the mound of dirt, black and weird. The Nycto text pamphleteer, since the printing press, bats amid the heavens, given to echolocation. The Nycto text we play within, a cognitive ecosystem dolphins could dream within, solider than the bond between men. Watch the evening bend as tall trees in the wind toward the bitter end. That'll be $4.57. That the laborer. In flames absurd. But we're getting ahead of ourselves talking about flames and heliotextual things. We're embedded deeply within the Nycto text. Scripted as Othello, his schizophrenia nyctotextual. Indexical, the rivers of red rose, risen as the ghost of winter. December's soul, simple yet technical, the Nycto flow. As the Flivver's engine goes, driven to Mexico. As Edison, inventing his poem, electrical, anapests and trochees, magnetic, those black belts in poetry, kicking high proudly in the night fog, punching powerfully in the fight you lost, thrown in the trash, metaphorically, lowering the flag for those souls we freed in poetry, but we don't have to be mean. It's not as if they chose to be whack MCs.
Please get the hell out of here.
Check this out. I come as black straight women under the hand of the Canadian government onto the back pages looking for love in the alleyways of Crooklyn, New York. His past is a pusher man over tracks Mayfield put down and wax the wick of flame flickering around, raving amid the Nycto town, lighting the blunt somewhere in Harlem at the White Castle, drunk on scary darkness, the substance very hard to mystify, wrapping up his hair in this artifice urban, his dark blue turban, Mbaruk in the dark blue current, your dark blue servant, his service, these bars euphonious, too informally strange as New York in the rain, as hipsters reading Taolin, where the killer bees of Shaolin must have been in their years of power, friend. So the risen sea around the Nycto, dream town of NYC, the sound of death. I just might be pound in the flesh. This Nycto flesh is novel in nocturnes, within which the wanderer watches his words as nocturnal bird calls. Another polka swirl on the wall. Impossible to've heard it all. Another nocturne immersed in water. NY crawling with insects as night falls on the village, lightly watering the critics, striking philosophers as pinpricks. Too informally strange as New York in the rain. They say I've got brains, but it ain't helping. Brian Wilson making with the theremin, gifting the nation in its carelessness with the remains of his experiment. These pet sounds the Nycto tape defined, written with circulation in mind, as if I were made for these times, in a Nycto state of mind, repairing homeward to New Jersey, where the whole earth condensed in you personally, expressed the truth wordfully. His blues the worker relieved, though they'd separated general apartheid, all the rest of art from the whites, as innate as the mental spark inciting you to penetrate Central Park at night. The tape a pacemaker making its sense, his language a safe space for the gay and trans, so aped as the ape apes his ape friends, the way he made his phrase on the paper dance, the single hair his soul contained, within the parrot poet's cage, those interconnected bones he breaks, beginning his descent into old age, flipping through Hegel's mind, skimming the centuries poetry confetti. Nycto textile, the spinning jenny. The witch loads with milky fiber. Nycto textually into the machine spools and bobbins, feeding you the raw text. These chalky Nycto textual fragments, artificial insemination. His cloudy thought as the pillow slept on. Though his Nycto text was long-suffering Odysseus and his son, among those trillions Penelope Kong.
He was abandoned. Oedipus Rex.
Hacking the eyes into bloodlust or whatever gets it done right. Temper the flare, it's the up night, chuck up the uptight. Craving in the gut to rid the liquor. Up in the slow, up you go. In the nose, pick a victor. Hoping too much concern, don't trouble the ticker. Wrote the rap like a lexicographer, except no definition or tone. Just a flat frequency, lack of proper bass. Symphony to heaven, then alone. How would dogs fight in a quiz over beef? Dark alley mirage like DJ Muggs beat. Beating into the skull, that's a floodlight. Head lit up from the drums, leaking the blood type. Holy clone, that's a tough fight. Letting go of the cynical for the crunk hype. Nappy roots blazing, hopping over road spikes. The mic got caught up in all this, it's so heavy. Goes the driveway on the run, hide Chevy. Tempted by Father Time, riots say they bump him well. Take no stress unless it helps emulate. 96 Corsican tape deck, adore it. No coma, please. Just the 86 through mountains. Bumping the Space Jam OST. Check the static, it might be playing Bone Crusher. Under return, it's a 10 up in the trunk. It's a bunch of empty gin. When sober enough, it's an empty grin.
Nighttime wishes. All these new moon phases make him wear new faces. All these new moon phases and
His poetry is in effect an ocean breeze, the Nycto text. H to the O to the W, oh brother, you pragmatist, calculating the risk. Practical in this bitch, dancing in the sea mist, speechlessly, the secret dealer of E. Marijuana, shrooms, and cocaine, the drugs. Whereupon, look who it is in the bodega, entering as the sun into the heavens above. Two men in black government suits held their badges up to you. Perforce the dream savior, searching for illegal aliens. Their work immortally ancient, preserved in Dorian's evil painting. They're learning more than 3 languages, the World War III hangover. Their mastery of martial arts to battle me, the Martian artist, perhaps the reason Mbaruk wrapped the sea chart in darkness, the blacker to be bizarrely the bard. Mbaruk was. These agents of the FBI, CIA, the federally bankrolled Institute for the Capture of Illegal Aliens. His poetry is in effect an ocean breeze, the Nycto text. Nocturnally, the silver bell, going deeper into the spell. His poetry is in effect an ocean breeze, the Nycto text.
sipping sorrel slowly and setting crepuscular. White teenagers, nouveau Nielsen sound skin, calling my music avuncular. A Harlem nocturne on the internet with ABA sideburns, and aptly natural, inimitable to open AI's Gaussian blur. In the dark, my phenotype refracted by Garveyites discussing blood quantum outside Jamaica Station. Oxtail and allspice, olfaction lifts every nose and bone to swing for supposition of the black nation. The evenings turn black as pitch correction before yeet. Bodega display case fresh out of halal meat. Settle for kosher caveats, nation of Islam, cravats, bolo ties, red eye, Philistine light bulbs, screwing iron oxide, slip knots. Constellation of factors overhead between high-rise, dappling pollution of light and otherwise artifice and lumen and dendrites. Tenebris spray can, Caravaggio, chiaroscuro, urban renewal, free throw under street lamps. While indigent sidewalk camping covers greater Turtle Island's wanton land rights. My feet sit upon begrudgingly, covering ground this everlasting night. I was just walking.
I saw no hell below, did you? The water fell through me too. L'ombre sous l'aile d'une nuit nulle. L'homme si fou d'Hélène, si sous une prose qui goûte comme une miel. Libou, libou, sur les livres d'eau si doux. Une femme si sourde, du Québec parmi les dudes. Et un frère qui chuchote, un monsieur hulant, ses culottes, ses sous-vêtements, et son légume pendante, la nonchalance de l'homme qui pense, un peu comme il cante. Je suis drunk, le bleu de la nuit sombre, son parapluie et l'eau du ciel, si Nycto textual, in Nycto French, an invisible wench, this bronze inscription upon the bench, the water dripping upon her umbrella, deaf to their Nycto agenda, the men in their Nycto mens rea. Shoplifters, yo, there's no judgment here. Some of us just have to do whatever we must. Yo, it's like something that, I mean, I've shoplifted, I think, maybe. In walks ridiculous, hip hopping with his limp and the crutch, the Nycto thug, his fingers subtle, all Nycto fucked off the gin and rum, yo, shoplifting the chocolate and licorice, and thought Nyctological, the hypocrite, helioformal, my dream of him, the dreamer, normalizing thievery into the warm and mild evening, sneezing a nigh infinite swarm of tiny demons. These organized street thugs, I mean the porcine police brother, open your mind and produce the gat, pointed in rhyme at the dude and laugh, an ode to Black Moon in his knapsack. This illyrical contact, too savage, smeared in handprints, the cold moon passively pro-plutocratic, mere anarchy, the dreamer in Rappa Harvey, the rabbit of our dreams, this wild Nyctomania violently raging as unminded pages of the Bible, crazily unconscious, the mind in its Satanism, postmodern rhyme and proto-ancient reason, the long and winding road astray beneath the moon, toward its vanishing point, his road more manageable than Joyce, though, more animal than cloistral, the black flame a joy to behold, his Saturday spoils us all, his poetry knowing the moon hollower, then boating over the huge waterfall, his script so empty of nonsense, Nycto textually common, one day it'll all make sense with the sophistry of 10 men, his thought never ending, wandering its bends and twists, the shoplifter's heaven, these constellated dots in the humans are more or less all the same through the morning and on into the day, uniformly not okay, using their deformedly large brains to support artists like Drake. You know that's not the way. Through the forest, walking straight, unipolar, opposite Ye, who hates his bipolar because it's great. This god behind the Atlantic, the wrong Poseidon in his blackness, giant in his power over the waves, rhyming now so when it's later, these high clouds will descend in raining words, drowning men in prayer to the now dead creator, dead in writing in the dead of night, in the Nycto text type, his feminine side, severally divided in the feminine light, the Nycto text type, his feminine side, ever deciding in the dead of night, in the Nycto text's light, his feminine side, expertly binding in the dead of night, the Nycto text mighty, his feminine side, textually Nycto, entering through the window, the klepto prints his letters invisible, as if there were several of him in your home, the image of death in his Nycto cloak, our discontent scribbled over every wall, and then until risen your guest in the hall, the lunar glimmer of truth in his letters, werewolves howling in the distance, Americans a crowd of livid pitchforks, Nycto formal, the roaring river royal, inwardly joyfully living in sorrow. To read the Nycto text oral, your reverie in line, these segments of night in the Nycto text tight, his feminine side, severally divided in the feminine light, the Nycto text tight, his feminine side, ever deciding in the dead of night, in the Nycto text light, his feminine side, expertly binding in the dead of night, the Nycto text mighty, his feminine side. The lunar shining on the river, our too prideful sun's sister, so dismissed till the sky got Nycto, her silver medal shiningly the king now, downing a Tao, drinking beneath inky clouds, digging into the moon's milky sound. It's just the Nycto tune, thinking aloud, the bodega brawl at 3:40 a.m. Mbaruk on the morning sea, narrating another naked nocturne and bathing the water waves in one words, wetly writing in the dead of night, in the Nycto text tight, his feminine side, severally divided in the feminine light, the Nycto text tight, his feminine side, ever deciding in the dead of night, in the Nycto text light, his feminine side, expertly binding in the dead of night, the Nycto text mighty, his feminine side. The man's muddy Nycto text, perhaps another Finnegan dead, as Africa forgives the West, and just his black blood a river red. His passions were all scribbled in wet black, with a pigeon feather in cursive onto parchment. Mbaruk, the posthumously pardoned fool. How do you solve a problem like Mbaruk, failing to chart as most music, embracing the darkness of humans, heavily rhymed these segments of night in the Nycto text tight, his feminine side, severally divided in the feminine light, the Nycto text tight, his feminine side, ever deciding in the dead of night, in the Nycto text light, his feminine side, expertly binding in the dead of night, the Nycto text mighty, his feminine side.
How can I assist you?
I read your ad in Fango, and I just wanted to find out what's the big deal.
It's the most frightening experience you'll ever have the displeasure of coming into contact with.
Sure it is. Look, I've played them all.
Brain scan's more than just a game.
Yeah, right. Well, what's it about?
That depends on the individual. What makes Brain Scan unique is that it interfaces with your subconscious. You supply the inspiration, and we take care of the rest.
Look, R2-D2, how do you really expect me to believe it?
at Nightwood, who gave him Nightwood, the passionate artist. This night of Saturday, her white owl uncaged, lowering the town's black curtains. This snowy owl in the black firmament, going down in rap murmurous. The black artists compact as the marmoset. The Canadian spy asleep as NYC to the TO textual, asleep as Tokyo Torontonians. Their alien spies asleep as NYC to the TO textual, dreaming in metaphor and metonymy Torontonians. To the dreamer textual, so beyond loneliness. Reading the text he holds, the Canadian spy asleep as NYC to the TO textual, Torontonians ODing on fentanyl. He's a little eccentric, you know. Nycto textual, of course, and spreading through the chorus. His never-ending uniform abyss, forgetting where New York is. The stars all spray their glitter dust, Andromeda, Pegasus, Cygnus, constellatedly printed upon black pages of the Nycto text, intangible tufts of blurry dream stuff, the random vulgarity above the land discovered and divvied up, the map a puzzle whose pieces touched, entangled as lovers in deep trust. Hey, was the sleeping under the waves submarine enough, waiting in the sea for someone, as the patient limousine of love, the shape of the moon, a cut in the page where through light floods, the light a glittery dust upon bicycles and trucks alike. Such was the night, the Nycto text, the bubbling bright brilliant message, fucking right where you'd left it all this time, shifting deathward. The writing in red words was Christ Nycto textual, was rice in the sushi roll black page, his afro sacred this Saturday, randomly sprang light through the black page, his afro sacred this Saturday, randomly sprang light. Do unto others what poetry did to you, brother, unlearning the truth, the clerk, reading your hermeneutic, the words we pour into the universe, and performing blue humor, the verse a porno free of nudity, the truth we seek ordered as the eulogy, from the surfboard into the sea, the clerk immoral in his purity, closing the store for a few minuets with his adorable mistress. over the land into the sea. So Nycto temporality, a symptom of our passion for sleep. Hold these human ashes to your ear, and in this warmly moving atmosphere, listen for the moonlit Atlantic, glittery true to the galaxy. Hear the music and dance for me. Hear this dude stiff in fantasy in Queens near Rockaway Beach. Hear the small bodega glee. Listen for the smoggy night within his poetry. The long knives this cold MC lobbed right into the nosebleeds. That small white stone asleep, worrying the waves of his audience, hurling the blades in a calm trance. Sadist his comrades live at. One or more of them might sue him, such as Warren White. From his forehead a knife protruding, so forthright in his confusion. This form like the mutant, deformed via plutonium. Yo, the gamma ray spicy, poking the poem so Saturday nightly. A cold lemonade or an iced tea, and rolling papers for my weed. Voting for Satan and irony on cocaine in the driver's seat from Bombay to Shanghai. The queen of time and being, the mind asleep in standardized dreaming, till black lives are free again. Behind the will of his friends, driving their dream to its end. Into the Nycto temporal, 1996-2024, 05-33-33, 2026, 1979-11-2001. His space-time Iliad in Winnipeg via the internet. FaceTime with his friend, saved by the Nycto text. It's warm blankets blanketing the roaring waves of an ancient drink in darkness, saved from an art that lacks the sparkle of blackly lit darkness, where swam the fish garbled in an English bubbly, tickling in lovely leaps of the tongue asleep and dreaming. These unclear meanings as the river under gravity, it slithers over the land into the sea. So Nycto temporality, a symptom of our passion for sleep, as the river under gravity, it slithers over the land into the sea. So Nycto temporality, a symptom of our passion for sleep, as the river under gravity, it slithers over the land into the sea. So Nycto temporality, a symptom of our passion for sleep, a symptom of our passion for sleep.
That mask don't fit right when you wear it. That's like a scene at night. So out there with no woosah, why don't you be so pretty? That mask is a bench sat on like Furphy, no penalty. That's Pacers talk, let's win the playoffs. What's the subject? Oh yeah, awake when masks off, but asleep when they on. That's the daily repetition. So not going to bed, up for being sleepy while pretending to completely aware. That's a day wasted off that constant puff off one hit turn. At least I'm saving. The shit's gone like someone robbed the toilet. That's a work trailer on acid, tools lost all distortion. That's a face of ghost rap. Those words are sampled off to get her. Lifter of warts, a piffer, so gone off colorful baggies. The suit's caramel melted sugar, so faggy. No insult, they call them that in New York alleys. While he's trying to get to Bally's. Work out! His fitness off. His fucking skeleton is showing. That's the feeling that you get inside. When the mask is on and you can't keep your eyes open, you're so sleepy. Damn.
Ahead had a better night before nightfall, back when the sky was purple. Now that the flies all circle around the lights, monotone murderous glow wordlessly flowing. A John Cage rehearsing his poetry on the stage in an adverbaholic rage, currently workingly on its surface, walkingly nakedly with a smirk, awkwardly, crazily, not crazy. The waves really make the sea awake in the language of dreams. It's mind-numbing, minding the customers this night of unrhyming. In other words, of hiding the structure of universal entanglement. The word stones he played with, so sacred. Our every word a planet sacred, the moon sacred. These pebbles thrown around in language were sacred. A bevy of earthbound spaceships. Our every word a found spaceships. Alien nictotexts. Spaceships radiant within the breath. These spaceships, the nictotext sacred. I had a bitter bite of warm piety, the talent hidden in my fertile speech. Now that the flies all beat against the light's desirous greed, wordlessly glowing, a John Cage, the work and emotional holiday. Perhaps he's not amazed, burning the church his long flamethrower. He works with a smirk, awkwardly, crazily, not crazy. The waves really make the sea awake in the language of dreams. It's mind-numbing, minding the customers this night of unrhyming. In other words, of hiding the structure of universal entanglement. The word stones he played with, so sacred. Our every word a planet sacred, the moon sacred. These pebbles thrown around in language were sacred. A bevy of earthbound spaceships. Our every word a found spaceships. Alien nictotexts. Spaceships radiant within the breath. These spaceships, the nictotext sacred. With no one buying anything at close to 5 a.m., he steps outside for a cigarette, alive under the nictotext, amid platonic subtleties written on the Republican Greek, such graffiti as Cicero protected in the Roman Senate, so nictotextual as Cicero executed. Nictotextual the wit in his essays. Nictotextual Cicero's head displayed in the forum, conveyed on the waves of his snoring. Such dreams may come under evening's thumb, sleeping under the nictotext, nympholeptic of these constellations, the structure of entertainment. Yo. His doom, their healthcare negligence, now the morning of the heliotext in fire. The 24-hour sign falls flaming down in fire's hot hatred. And is this death the remains of the Nycto text aflame? The store's convenience as ashes to morning's demonic lantern. This formless heap of modern plastic, formerly the small black business. And though the Nycto text feels like risen as the dream in his mind, going for infinite meaning, while the river repeats inside itself, returns as the blackbird revengeful, serving its passengers a darkness. Perhaps a little too dark for some. Right now it's the warmth of the sun, burning the store down, orange and proud, risen so now specific. Its critics sound cryptic to you, powerlessly embedded and bound within your present, confounded by references to sunlight. What is this strange substance